Customers complained about prostitution at this hotel chain for years. The company claimed it didn't see it. Hey, I'm not gonna hate a hotel for respecting the do not disturb signs. Plus, I like a hotel chain that offers more than just the basic amenities. And besides, is making the bed what you think about when you hear there's room service? What the fuck is up, internet? Welcome to the channel, and welcome to this episode of Crazy Ass News. Crazy Ass News is a series where I scour the internet for crazy, recent, under-the-radar news stories that I don't know anything about. I pick articles based solely on their headlines, and then I read through them while talking shit the whole time. Customers staying at Red Roof Inn hotels, which... Red Roof Inn? I didn't even know those fuckers were still around. The customers across the country complained about the presence of prostitution for years. An investigation by The Independent. Red Roof Inn. I mean, I've never stayed at a Red Roof Inn. Motel 6, Ramada, Days Inn, Super 8. There's like a couple other like mom and pop hotels I stayed at, but I can't remember the last time I seen a Red Roof Inn. An analysis of customer reviews posted online found hotel guests suspected or claimed to have witnessed prostitution at 177 Red Roof Inn locations. At 177 of them? Dude, they, how blatant do you have to be, right, to be noticed? Like you have to... I've never seen this firsthand, but you just have to be ushering people into your room. I don't know how you would stand out if you're just in the room. I mean, comings and going at a hotel, depending, I guess Red Roof Inns is probably kind of like, not very many guests stay there, so it's probably like concentrated. The people that are there probably notice more stuff because there's less people, but man, you gotta kind of have like a... It's not like... Is it like on the street? Are these women like... Or women, men, whoever? He, she, they? Are they like outside their doors? Like on a street corner? Or are they like advertising online? How do these people know? Very confused by that. In many of these hotels, customers claim the prostitution was so blatant the hotel management must have been aware of it, and even ignored guests who flagged concerns to staff. If you're the Red Roof Inn, if you're the staff at the Red Roof Inn, and a guest comes up and says, hey, I think 172 is a prostitute. I mean, how do you go about accusing them? Like, how do you go to the guest and say, hey, look, are you guys prostitutes in here? Or are you are you the pimp? Like, what does the customers expect them to do? I mean, so blatant that the hotel management must have been aware of it? I don't know, man. I feel like that's kind of wishy-washy. You can't prove that they were aware of it. 177 locations, though? I mean, but maybe Red Roof Inn, like I said, they're like probably struggling. And maybe they keep the rates kind of low for this kind of thing, just so that they have somebody coming in the door. I don't know. This is crazy. Oh my God, this guy goes, this place is a complete dump, infested with drug dealers and prostitution. What's sad about it is the management is 100% fully aware of what's going on, reads one review for the Red Roof Inn, Hampton Coliseum and Convention Center in Virginia. Man, this guy put this place on blast. Hampton Coliseum and Convention Center in Virginia. Look, if you're looking for, a working girl, or if you're a working girl, business might start kicking up at this Red Roof Inn. Damn. 100% fully aware of what's going on. This guy says it's a complete dump. Infested with drug dealers and prostitution. Man, it must be bad if you notice it. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how blatant somebody would have to be to let people know that they're prostitutes. Oh, here we go. The girl next door was a prostitute and openly told us that she was specialized in couples, and all night there was a bumping and banging in her room loud enough to startle us out of our sleep. All of these things were complained about with no resolve, wrote another for a Red Roof Inn in Dayton, Ohio. That's kind of... I don't think you... if somebody is offering to be a prostitute to you and you're like offended by it, call the cops. I mean, what's the hotel supposed to do? All they can... you want them to kick them out? Like, without doing any... just going off of your word? I mean, that's kind of tough, I think. A map of the hotels where customers mention prostitution in their reviews compiled by The Independent shows the scale of the issue across Red Roof Inn hotels nationwide. I mean, that's a lot of prostitution. What's going on over here? Are there no Red Roof Inns over here? I mean, that's pretty concentrated over here. We got Kalamazoo. That adds up. Harrisburg, Hershey, Huntsville, Alabama, Jackson, Tennessee. What are we over here? Phoenix. I mean, it has to be blatant for people to make reviews about it. Like, it's gotta be pretty obvious. Google, TripAdvisor, Yelp, and Priceline reviews for hundreds of Red Roof Inn properties were analyzed by The Independent for reference to prostitution. The list is likely incomplete and the claims could not be independently verified. Some locations have multiple reviews, but only one is shown. Some of these locations may have since closed. Red Roof Inn said in a statement that it condemns prostitution and sex trafficking in all forms. I don't know, man. I don't know if I wouldn't notice. I mean, unless like this couple said a woman came up to him and offered, I would notice that. But even then, I'd be like, she's fucking bullshitting, right? But the reviews also provide insight into a much larger problem. Red Roof Inn is currently facing at least 42 lawsuits from sex trafficking victims who claim the company turned a blind eye and profited from their abuse for years. Oh, Jesus, now we're getting serious. Before it was a victimless crime, but now we got sex trafficking through Red Roof Inns? God damn. Hundreds more victims are in the process of filing legal action, according to attorneys working on the case. The Independent reveals an investigation. I mean, the Independent is doing this investigation, but I mean, they're just going off of, they're going off of reviews. Maybe that's what sparked their interest. And then now they're talking lawyers and shit. According to attorneys working on their cases. So this is like, took a turn. This is kind of like dark now. Custom reviews monitoring prostitution have been used by attorneys in those lawsuits to demonstrate the chain did not take action to prevent sex trafficking at its hotels. Well, I mean, prostitution and sex trafficking, I mean, it's like, you know what I mean, it's fast food, right? One's McDonald's and one is Taco Bell. I mean, that's not a very good, it's worse than that, of course. What would, sex trafficking would be more like Arby's. Red Roof Inn declined to comment when asked directly by The Independent about customer reviews mentioning prostitution at more than 170 of its more than 620 branded hotels. It has repeatedly denied that it ignored sex trafficking at its hotels. I mean, there's definitely training that takes place when you work at a hotel. I guess there's something called the safe place. I worked at a beer store that was attached to a hotel, and it was a Days Inn, and that they had like a safe space program where we were like on the lookout for sex trafficking, and there's like a little bit of a training you have to do to get into the program. But 170 out of 620, that's some pretty bad odds. I mean, of the 177 locations where prostitution was found in online reviews, 58 have been mentioned in sex trafficking lawsuits. This brings the total number of Red Roof Inn locations linked to prostitution or sex trafficking in lawsuits and online reviews to 236 across the U.S., or more than 1 in 3 of the chain's branches. Jesus. Wait, how? Wait. When I read this, 58 have been mentioned in sex trafficking lawsuits. So you can't add 58 to the 177. They're already included. Right? Am I reading that right? Are we reading this right? Of the 177 locations where prostitution was found in online reviews, 58 have been mentioned in sex trafficking lawsuits. I mean, their math is bad here, right? Tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm reading this wrong. I feel like the context clues tell me that they kind of fucked up. While Red Roof Inn denies it was aware of illegal activity at its properties, the reviews demonstrate the customers noticed and complained in online reviews about prostitution at the company's hotel for years. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I mean, how do you, if you're like if you own a chain of Pizza Huts and somebody complained about, you know, finding something weird in your pizza, I mean, Pizza Hut would take action. Like, why is what Red Roof Inn literally evil enough to actively be like just turning a blind eye because they're making a couple of bucks? They can't be making that much. One reviewer described the Detroit Red Roof Inn as a haven for prostitution. Another reported seeing a sex worker leave another room and pay her pimp money. Jesus, these bitches are blatant. If I could give negative stars, I would. This is Alyssa C., Wading River, New York. This is from 2022. Should have given her a star. You can't not get, I guess you probably have to give at least 1 star just to be able to comment. But everything went downhill from there. Wait. If I could give negative stars, I would. The front desk agent was nice, but everything went downhill from there. The property is not safe. There is active drug use with people walking around high. Prostitution is quite active on the property as well, with a pimp hanging around with a gun, and he's not afraid to tell anyone about it. The room was an absolute disgrace, extremely dirty with mold in the ceiling and the shower. We had to leave within an hour of arriving due to unsanitary conditions and a lack of safety, and they're doing nothing in regards to refund or acknowledgement of how disgusting this property was. Jeez. That's pretty crazy, man. You don't want that shit. You don't want to get that yelped at you. Dude, I mean, if somebody flashes a gun at you, man, call the cops. I mean, what do you expect a desk agent to do? I mean, the mold and shit, the place being dirty is pretty gross. I mean, he was just hanging around with a gun and not afraid to tell anyone about it. Like, that's a crime. Brandishing a weapon? Call the fucking cops. Get the cops in there. Do an investigation. Be proactive. You see something, say something. Man. The highest number of Red Roof Inn branches where reviews mention prostitution are found in Michigan, where guests reported forms of prostitution at half. 16 out of 31 of all locations. 16 out of 31. Jesus. What the fuck is going on in Michigan, man? I mean, I really I'm like aware of what's going on. Like, my head's on a swivel, but I'm also minding my own business. Like, I wouldn't notice I don't know if I would notice a guy hanging around with a gun and like in the hotel. Because, I mean, I guess it depends on if you're actually like staying at the hotel or you're just sleeping there. I guess that's the difference. If you're staying there like a few days or whatever, and you're in and out of the hotel, you'd probably you'd notice something like that. I've never really done that, so I mean, it seems like. But I guess these people said they were only in there for 45 minutes. Jesus. Texas is next on the list with 16 locations, followed by Florida with 13. The claims made in the reviews have not been individually verified. The independent analyzed reviews left on Google, Priceline, Trip.com, TripAdvisor, and Yelp. I mean, that's the thing. The fact that they're saying have not been individually verified. Like, with the internet, it's hard to just believe something that somebody says. right, on the internet. Just because this Alyssa C says this, I mean, it is pretty detailed. It sounds kind of legit. The pimp hanging out with a gun sounds kind of crazy. And Detroit Red Roof Inn? Is it really that sketchy? I think if you're at a hotel, if I'm at a hotel and I notice somebody like brandishing a weapon, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm not gonna go to the desk. I'm gonna assume that the desk person is probably scared to death of the person with the gun, or they would have done something. Unless the pimp is paying them. But if that was the case, why would the pimp be so blatant? Isn't he trying to protect his livelihood? Why would he be so crazy about it? I mean, it's kind of stupid. Criminals are born every day, but that just sounds a little crazy. Red Roof Inn has used outside companies to monitor online reviews of its hotels for more than a decade. It partnered with Clarabridge, an analytics firm, to turn all of the guest reviews into actual data, according to a press release from at least 2010 until 2019. In 2019, it hired a company called Medilia to analyze its social customer reviews. Somebody's not doing their job. Right? I don't know how you can turn a blind eye to this unless you're doing it on purpose. But if they're doing it on purpose, why would they waste money on these analytics firms? Like, if they were doing it on purpose, well, unless it's just like to cover their ass, but it seems like it would be pretty expensive to pay for these companies. I mean, is the prostitution rates paying for? I don't know. It doesn't seem very lucrative. I mean, why would you wouldn't want to be a sex trafficking place unless you're trying to attract sex traffickers. And why would you do that? You're putting your employees and your guests at risk, and I mean, it's just a matter of time before something crazy happens. And the Red Roof Inn management has spoken publicly about how seriously they take that feedback. Online reviews are a lens into our operations on a daily basis, Marina McDonald, the chief marketing officer at Red Roof Inn for 16 years, said in 2015. I mean, that was kind of a minute ago. 9 years ago, Jesus. That's the last time this chick said anything? Reviews have always been a benchmark of Red Roof's commitment to great guest service, reads a 2015 press release, which includes a statement from Red Roof Inn president Andrew Alexander declaring, "As a company, we pride ourselves on how well we listen to our guests." In order to not be taken this seriously, I don't think they don't believe these people. Right? They don't believe people like Alyssa at C. They have to see this and be like, what? They do an internal investigation. Maybe they send someone from a branch there and be like, where's the guy with the gun? Like, I have a hard time believing they just turning a blind eye to something this serious. And spending money to try to prevent it without really taking action sounds kind of crazy. It may be just individual employees at specific places just not doing their job, but the people at the top they're ultimately responsible. Red Roof Inn's monitoring of online reviews indicates it was aware of customer complaints about prostitution on its properties. Although prostitution does not always include sex trafficking, lawyers for the victims taking legal action have argued that allowing it to become so rampant at Red Roof Inn hotels proved the company was not doing due diligence to prevent their trafficking. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I guess you'd really... I mean, I'm saying there's a difference between prostitution and sex trafficking, but would you really know the difference? I mean, someone being sex trafficked is being a prostitute against their will. So just because they're doing, they're saying, hey baby, I do couples, they could be doing it at the threat of like bodily harm, right? It's not just, it's not necessarily, prostitution is a victimless crime. So I mean, there's that. I don't know, it just seems like it'd be hard to prove. Like, if you were a customer at a store and you saw somebody shoplifting and went and said to a clerk, you know what I mean? Hey, I saw that guy over there in the green jacket was shoplifting. I mean, unless it's on camera or a manager says something to you about confronting that person, a lot of times just somebody working a fucking job isn't going to do that. You have to call the cops. Alan Baroski, an attorney who has taken on dozens of cases related to sex trafficking at Red Roof Inn, told Independent that the scale and the signs of prostitution were so obvious that the law required action to be taken. I mean, clearly this attorney's biased. He's trying to make money off of this case, but I don't know. You don't want people to be sex trafficked. You don't want people to be forced to prostitute themselves, but at the same time, it's like, it's a place of business, and it's do you offend a bunch of people that aren't potentially not prostitutes? I mean, what would the reviews be then? I mean, you'd be on the news if somebody was like, I was at Red Roof Inn and this motherfucker tried to kick me out saying that I was a prostitute and I was just having friends over or whatever. You know, or, you know what I mean? Me and my significant other are in the stuff, and we came here for like a sex vacation, and we're wilding out. I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy. Even if you have an instance where sex trafficking may not be outwardly distinguishable from a non-coerced sex work, what the hell? Let me read that again. Even if you have an instance where sex trafficking may not be outwardly distinguishable from non-coerced sex work, you still have situations where clearly there is some type of commercial sex venture, and it can be discovered through the course of reasonable expectations of observation and investigation that sex trafficking venture is afoot, he said. I mean, now you're just asking people who's getting paid $15 an hour to be, you're expecting them to be a fucking detective? I mean, you have to be so certain to accuse somebody of doing something like that. That's crazy. That's where the liability comes in, he says. So he's saying, look, shit was so obvious that even if the guests didn't call the cops, that the clerks should have called the cops. And that's reasonable to me. Right? If you see something crazy, it's like, I don't know how would you do that? I mean, there's cameras in a hotel, and then there's like, depending on what's going on, I mean, it's hard to keep inside a room. There's no cameras in there. You can't see what's going on. The exchange of money, they're not going to do that right in the goddamn lobby, are they? Emma Hetherington, director of the Will Banks Child Endangerment and Sexual Exploitation CEASE Clinic and an associate professor at the University of Georgia School of Law, said the map created by the Independent demonstrated a failure on the part of hotels, law enforcement, and anyone who should know the signs of sex trafficking and yet doesn't report it. I don't know what you would do. I guess if I'm if I'm working at a hotel and a guest comes up and says, hey, look, buddy, I think there's like prostitution going on, and that guy over there by the soda machine or the ice machine has a gun, I would be like, oh shit, I better call the cops or my manager. I guess you would call your manager first and be like, look, this is what's going on. I mean, do you want to come in and with the cops and do an investigation here? I mean, we at least got to give the Joneses here a refund. I mean, they were up all night here and banging on the wall. I mean, yeah, I guess you can't always claim ignorance. It's just the sex trafficking and prostitution thing. It's like, I just feel like it's hard to just say, well, that's what's going on. Pimp with a gun, yeah, I mean, if it's cartoonishly like a pimp with a gun, like, is kind of, I have a hard time saying that. I mean, the place has to be like corrupt for that to happen. Last month, a landmark trial in Atlanta saw 11 victims of sex trafficking testify in court against a hotel chain as part of a lawsuit that alleged it ignored obvious signs of their abuse to maximize profits. It was the first time a sex trafficking lawsuit against a major hotel chain had gone to trial. I mean, obvious signs just seems It just seems crazy. Obvious signs just sounds like a crazy term. Especially when it's coming to something like that. Following a statement in the Atlanta lawsuit, Red Roof Inn said in a statement that it denies all allegation and condemns prostitution and sex trafficking in all forms. It also claims to have taken steps to mitigate criminal activity at Red Roof properties without clarifying further. I mean, dude, you're gonna have to hire security. You're gonna have to hire security and... Yeah, I mean, what are they supposed to do? Like, if they're like advertising online, I mean, you have to know how to fucking look up prostitution advertising. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're asking a whole lot from this hotel chain. The victims in the lawsuit, some of whom were underage at the time, accused the company of allowing its rooms to be rented to the sex traffickers who kept them there and controlled every aspect of their lives. So these people are like living in the hotel. See, that's different. Like, if it's just like a weekend thing, you're strolling through, got some johns coming in, bang, 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 you're paying your bill and you're bouncing. But if they're like renting the rooms out for like months at a time, I feel like that definitely changes what would be obvious or not. Most of the locations mentioned in the lawsuit are operated by franchisees, but attorneys for the alleged victims are seeking damages from the corporate operation too. Huh. Yeah, and so here's some information about sex trafficking. Yeah, like if you see something, call this National Human Trafficking Hotline, right? Keep that in order. Put that in your phone. They got a website. The hotline operates 24/7. Yeah, so if you're seeing this, you're working at a hotel, especially Red Roof Inn, you guys are fucking crazy. Yeah, definitely jot that down and say something if you see something. I still think it's kind of hard to just be like, oh my god, there's prostitutes here. Unless you're being like, what the fuck is the term? Solicited. Unless you're being like solicited by a prostitute, I don't know. I just don't know how you would know. Other than this couple saying that this woman came up to him and offered her services, which that makes it a little bit more obvious. But then the drugs, they just saw people on drugs in the hallway. Like, what do you want what are they supposed to do about that? I don't know. That's crazy. What do you think about this shit? Like, would you be able to pick out like some prostitution going down? I just don't think I would. And I feel like I'm a pretty observant person. Even if I thought I saw something like that going down, I would definitely have my doubts, and I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable like accusing somebody of it. If I saw a pimp with a gun now, threatening a chick in the lobby, yeah, I would definitely call the cops before I said anything to the clerks there, because I would assume that they're probably frightened. That's why they're not saying anything. Anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.